Which one of y'all out of the locks really hated like the whole introduction of the shiny suits? Like who was really against that shit?
I say all of us. You know, we was big, one thing, another thing, back to Big. He told us that Diddy was gonna do a lot of things that we didn't like.
He told y'all before.
Yeah, like after we really knew him and we would, you know, after we created that bond, he told us like, he's gonna make you mad, he's gonna do some stuff that you don't like, but he's gonna make you a star. So, you know, coming from the hood and coming from where we from, complaining, I was probably the most complaining
most
one.
vocal, right.
Yeah, than Styles and Luch, but so I would raise the most hell and do the most complaining, but though we hated him, we still wore him to, you know, just because we thought it was okay.
Right.
Then once we start getting feedback from our fans, is when we know we wasn't bugging, get these stupid suits out of here, like, you know what I'm saying? But then the flip side of that whole thing, after we got off Bad Boy and got on Rough Riders, and we was on the Rough Rider Cash Money tour, and we would call it a spoof of the shiny suits, because we had the little turmoil with Diddy before we got cool. And we'd come out and do If You Think I'm Jiggy with the shiny suits on and rip them off and then go into Fuck You, but a lot of the times in the big venues, the big cities, they would get mad because they wanted the whole If You Think I'm Jiggy. So we'd be backstage like, this is crazy. Yeah, do they want this or not? What's going on there? Yeah, so that's like a funny thing. Like, sometimes we rip them off and they like, we wanted them to do that song.
So the initial turmoil that you had with Diddy, was it more the creative? Was creative or personality?
I mean, I just think something wasn't right, because we didn't really have, our problem wasn't really musically, it was, maybe we was looking for love that wasn't there, because maybe he was too busy, maybe, you know what I mean? But he showed us love, but it maybe wasn't, we probably was looking for more love.
Right.
I ain't really sure, but I just know something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I think out of most cats that are successful in the game, probably Diddy might have had it the hardest, because his appearance, at least back then, when Bad Boy was the pinnacle label, is like he made you feel like he was in the hood with you. But at the same time, he was running with Clive, running with Russell, he was a businessman.
Yeah, he definitely about his money.
Right.
And he's always been, but you know.
I think a lot of those situations where you have labels or organizations that revolve around that one person that brings a lot of young people from the hood in, a lot of times these young people will look to that person almost as a father figure almost. Because they bring you in out of a situation and push you somewhere, and then all of a sudden when they get busy, or when y'all don't see eye to eye for whatever reason, you're still looking at him, you're looking for guidance, and all of a sudden he's on to the next or out on wherever he's at.
See, you can relate to this with being signed to Hov, because it's the same thing. Like you being expecting something from the outside looking in, and then when you get in, it's not always what you expected, but it's not as bad as it appears to you either, but you just gotta find your niche, get your work ethic and your routine going, and then it'll all round out, it'll come back around, you know what I mean? And sometimes as we was teenagers, we ain't know that. Like, we was looking for something too quick. Maybe we should have waited it out, maybe, you know, if we had to do it all over, I'd do the same thing again, but you know, sometimes you gotta think about it.
Just, you felt that way too, man? Like, in terms
Not
of,
me personally, but
he can see it though.
But I saw it plenty of times. Like with me, it was like,
not to cut him off, producers got it better. Producers like the older brother that graduated college that never got arrested. And the artist is like, you be failing, you know what I mean? You ask for a lot of stuff, you've been failing classes, sleep in the basement.
Because even to a lot of those dudes, I was kind of like the intermediate big brother. You know what I mean? So I was still
he's
like,
this way, so don't worry about it. He's just that way.
You know what I mean? Like,
because they're seeing different personalities, the producers, like, you know, as they doing sessions with different artists, me, Beans, Freeway, he's seeing all type of different emotions. So, you know, I do
also,
know.
I think at that, even just from a financial standpoint, whereas at that point, your money revolves from or comes from shows, and just you're advanced, and
you
that's
get-
pretty much it.
yeah.
Whereas producers are a bit more comfortable because they can bounce from project to project.
You're
to
almost like
project.
the therapist, kind of
Yeah.
like the.
You know how I've
You basically the client, and then you like the.
I've
the
counseled
therapist.
a lot of artists, counseled a lot of artists late night, like in situations similar to what you're talking about. That's
Right.
kind of why I see that. It's like a lot of times these young artists will look at their CEOs and their executives as almost like father figures.
Right.
You know, and because when they first sign, they're like, oh, this is family, and they get that vibe. Oh, this is the family, this is the team, and it's like, no, this is business. And as long as the business is successful and everybody's on the same page, it's the team and it's family.
But what's crazy when you do the initial signing, they'll sell you the family.
Hugging you and hugging your
They
moms.
spin you. They
In the
spin
hood,
you.
they out in the front.
They spin you.
Right.
They spin you.
Right.
And you got one thing about the locks is after that, all the stuff we went through, we finally understand that business is business and family is family.
Right.
And us coming in as a 3-man group was able to be each other's crutches.
Right.
Where we didn't have to look for we made it that we gonna be our family and we good off that.
Right.
And we gonna just work, keep the business accordingly, and you know what I mean?
Now,
we made that mistake one time to never make it again.
But it's ironic because down the line, you eventually, in one instance that I know of, y'all actually became like the Puff figure, like with the whole J Hood situation. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you could say that, but it's different because we did stuff for J Hood that Diddy would have never did for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Out of control, out of
Respect.
just as in that. With that being said, is like a mouthful. Like some of the stuff we did for him in his life and his mom's. You know what I mean? Rest her soul. Diddy probably would have never. I mean, he never did that. I can't say he would have never did it.
he was never put in that situation
Stuff that
to
we
do.
did for him, yeah, he
Right.
never did that. So.
But you saw how an artist could misinterpret something for something else in a sense, right?
And with J Hood's situation, it ain't totally. We only got mad at him after he disrespected us and crossed the line. Cause
Right.
I felt where he had every right to be angry because he just wanted to come out. He wanted to release his album.
Like he had been signed to y'all.
Yeah, an artist, you're supposed to be mad if your record doesn't come out
Right.
after a certain amount
And
of
it was
time.
how long was it?
A few years. But you know, sometimes another thing you have to learn in this game is timing is everything.
Of course.
Alicia Keys put out the same album 10 years later or whenever it was when Clive saw a vision and it blew. So you know what I mean? You can get discouraged, you know what I mean, if financially the money ain't rolling in and then that triggers other things. Oh, I want my album to come out and this and that, and your right hand immediate friends is in your ear saying, yo, you
That's
should
the worst shit.
get off the contract.
That's the
and
worst
this and
shit. Isn't that
and all
the worst shit, man?
happens, so you know.
With more communication with J Hood have slowed him down? Because I feel like with y'all and Diddy and with Hood, it seems like people need someone to talk to them and kind of keep in communication with them.
I mean, some stuff is just spontaneous in the heat of the moment stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I still got love for him. We had love, like I told you, he was like our little brother. Like the whole thing with Just Said when new artists looking for, he was really our family, like, you know what I mean? Not like it was internal like that. So it's a whole different situation than we was beefing with Diddy. We ain't really know Diddy like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know him as when we go to his office or go to his studio. He was never really in his crib with his moms and none of that. So that's
Plus, he's from Mount
it's a
Vernon and y'all
different-
from Yonkers.
No, I mean, those is next door. Those is brother. Those is connecting
All right, if he was
brothers.
from New
but-
Rochelle, definitely not fuck with him, right? New
We got love for
you
Nairo,
cannot
too.
fuck with New Road niggas.
We got love for New Road, too. We got love for New Road.
Bronxville? Y'all fuck with Bronx?
Now, that's where you drawing the line.
Thank you.